crawl in my cadaverous crowd of Second Life. I'm Felix Lubezki, your Crypt-Keeper from the grave. I see you managed to scrounge up cold cash for this copy of the Crypt of Terror. Good, but don't worry, you won't be sorry. You'll get more than your money's worth of chills. I'll see to it. Yes, it's me, again, your host and whore, the Crypt-Keeper. Welcome once more to my hovel, the Crypt of Terror. For my first offering to curdle your blood, I have chosen one of my best terror tales from my vast collection of spine tinglers here in the crypt. This is the story of Clyde Franklin, the renowned animal hunter. Remember him? Remember when he disappeared? Well, I found him, or what's left of him. This is the story, as he told it to me, in its very words. Clyde sarcastically calls it the trophy. Yes, I'm Clyde Franklin. My story begins one night in my luxurious home. It was the night before I was to leave on another of my hunting expeditions. A reporter from the Morning Globe had dropped in to interview me. I found him waiting for me in my trophy room. He stared at the headline walls, wide-eyed. Ah, I see you've discovered my trophy room. Oh, Mr. Franklin, you startled me. I had to keep myself from laughing. The reporter was pale as a ghost. Don't you like my souvenirs? They're gruesome. Some of them look so alive. Oh, come now, sir. These are mementos of my past hunting trips. They're my records of achievement. How could you? Huh? How could you hunt these poor animals? Kill them, then stuff their heads and hang them here? It's cruel. Cruel. Now, be reasonable, sir. I hunt for the pure sport of it. These are my scores, like touchdowns in football. Surely you cannot downright man his sport. Sport, is it? It's murder. These poor creatures once lived, like you or I. You murdered them. I think this interview is at an end, young man. Good evening. Good night. The young reporter stormed out of my trophy room, stamped across the marble hall, whisked his hat off the rack, opened a huge oak door, and slammed it shut. Hard. I began to laugh. Poor fool. So what's he so worked up about? After all, they're only animals. The next morning, I was up at dawn after a hearty breakfast. I packed the last remaining necessities into my station wagon and bid goodbye to my servants. Goodbye, Jeeves. I'll bring a moose head just for you. Goodbye, sir. Good luck. My trip this time was to take me up the Alaskan highway in search of caribou, puma, moose, or any other unfortunate animal that might cross my gun sights. After Africa and India, this trip will be tame. Just a few miles out of Prince George, Canada, I've made my first camp. There ought to be plenty of moose and caribou in these woods. I'll try my luck bright and early tomorrow morning. The next day I tracked the moose for 3 hours. Finally I caught up with him. He was standing in the shallow waters of a small lake drinking his fill. Look at those antlers. That's what a trophy he'll make. He turned toward me and bellowed as I came out in the open. I raised my gun, sighted carefully, and he dropped to his knees. He snorted in pain. His beady eyes reddened. He stumbled to his feet and charged. I stood my ground. I raised my gun again. I waited until I knew I could hit the vital spot. Then I fired. He went down as the bullet struck him. He rolled over and lay dead at my feet. He was tremendous. His head was going to be a wonderful addition to my trophy room. I unsheathed my knife and set to work. The next day I broke camp and continued on my way. About noon I stopped at one of the few gas stations along the Alaskan highway. Better fill her up, mister, and take a can to spare. Next station's 200 miles. Good idea. Say, that's some moose head you got there. Where did you bag him? North of Prince George. He's a beauty, isn't he? Where's the carcass? I left it. I just wanted the head for my trophy room. Shucks, that's a lot of meat gone to waste. Folks up here hunt for food. Well, I hunt for sport. It was toward evening that it happened. I was speeding along a pear clip when I saw the board stretched across the road. Spikes! I slammed my foot down on the brakes. The two front tires exploded as the spikes ripped into them. The station wagon lurched crazily, and I felt it going over. There was a horrible crash, and everything went black. When I came to, I was lying on a couch in a rusted cabin. As the cobwebs cleared, I heard a strange sound. There was a steady throbbing of a motor coming from the next room. Where am I? I remember the crash. Suddenly, as I lay there, I heard voices coming from the room with the throbbing motor. No! Please don't! Have mercy! Ah! My blood froze in my veins. It sounded like someone was being tortured. Please, no! Ah! What in blazes? I tried to move. An excruciating pain shot through my leg. I looked down. It was twisted. It was broken. My leg is broken. I can't move. Suddenly the door opened. From the moment I heard the motor, louder, and there was another sound, a gurgling sound, like water being pumped through pipes. "Ah, you've come around." Closed the door, shutting out the sounds. He smiled at me. "How do you feel?" "I was afraid you might have a concussion." "Fine, except for my leg. You talk like you know something about medicine. Why couldn't you put my leg in a splint?" "I'm not interested in your leg." "What kind of a man are you? Who have you got in there? It sounds like you're torturing him." "You heard?" "Yes, look, you gotta set my leg or get me to a doctor." "You're not going anywhere. You're my prisoner." "Despite, you put them across the road." "Exactly. Let us say I bagged you as a hunter bags an animal. What are you going to do with me?" He turned and started out the door. You'll see. I watched him as he crossed the clearing and entered what appeared to be a woodshed. He was obviously mad. Whoever had in that room the ceaseless throbbing motor was in great pain. I decided to try to reach the door, to see. My leg, it's killing me. With a great deal of effort, I managed to half hop, half drag myself across the room to the door. I flung it open. Why, there's no one here. The room was empty, or a bare white table was a rather large round box. It looked like a hat box. On the floor, a small motor throbbed. It seemed to be a pump arrangement. From an attached tank, several rubber tubes ran off towards the table. If I heard the motor, and it's here, then the person I heard must be here too. Over the table, a bottle hung upside down. It looked like the kind of bottle used to administer plasma. A tube ran from it down to the table. Funny, all the tubes seemed to run into that box. I dragged myself painfully to the table. I stared down at the strange box. I saw now that it was only a cover. Suddenly the hair on the back of my neck crawled. Once again came that pathetic, sad moan. It came from the box. I grasped the handle and raised the cover. The most horrifying sight I'd ever seen met my eyes. I screamed. "Ah!" There on the table was a living, breathing human head. It blinked at me through its wide eyes. "Run, you fool! Get away from here! He's mad! Mad!" I stood rooted to the spot, unable to move. The indescribable horror I felt numbed my senses. "Do you hear me? Get out before it's too late! Do you want to end up like me?" Suddenly the head's wide staring eyes looked beyond me. I spun around. "Well, I see you've discovered my trophy room." "Your trophy room?" "Why, yes, this is where I keep the heads of all my game." He turned and took a can off of a shelf. "You're crazy. You can't hunt human beings." Then he reached for a sponge. "Sport? It's murder." "Call it what you will, it's my idea of sport." He came at me with a can and sponge. I tried to get away, but my broken leg sent me sprawling. He clapped the damp sponge over my nose and mouth, and I smelled the sickening, pungent odor of chloroform. I began to lose consciousness, drifting off into a black abyss. After all, they're only human beings. When the darkness faded and I came to, I was staring out over the wide expanse of the tabletop. The door opened. He came in. He had someone with him. "Before you die, I want you to see my trophy room." He pointed at me. The man with him was cut and bruised as if he'd been in an accident. "And this is my latest memento from a past hunting trip. Soon you too will become one of my records of achievement." "Yep, that's true. That's Clyde Franklin's story, in his own words. That's how he told it to me when I dropped in to see my friend who lives in a little cabin near the Alaskan highway. You should see his trophy room now. He's getting to be quite the hunter. Now I'll turn you over to my fellow ghoul lunatic, the Vault Keeper, for some more skullduggery." I see it's a guest spot time for me again. Time for me to grace the pages of the Crypt-Keeper's magazine with a horror tale from my private collection of spine-tinglers here in the Vault of Horror. Yes, I'm the Vault Keeper. Come in and lie down on that stretch rack over there. You'll have a ripping good time in this tale of the macabre I'm about to relate. I call it, Judy, You're Not Yourself Today. Donald Abelson stood at the door of his lovely little home and kissed his wife goodbye. He was leaving for the office. He looked into her soft brown eyes and whispered the warning he had regularly repeated every morning since they had been married. "Goodbye, Judy dear. I'll be home at the usual time. Remember, don't open the door to strangers." "I won't, Don. Goodbye. Don't work too hard." Judy Abelson watched her husband, Donald, stroll down the small-town street, flag his regular morning bus as it came to the corner, and get aboard. She wafted her usual farewell kiss after him as the bus roared away down the tree-lined street. Then she went inside. She closed the door and sighed. "Poor darling, he worries about me so. Always afraid something might happen to me when he leaves me alone every day. Oh dear, someone's at the door. Judy opened the door and peeked out. On the steps stood a bent and wrinkled old lady, her head covered with a ragged shawl. As her beady eyes caught sight of Judy, she grinned a toothless grin. Please, young lady, have pity on a poor old woman who hasn't eaten in 2 days. Spare a crust of bread or coin, please. Wait a moment, please. Judy hurried into the kitchen and got her purse. As she came back through the house, the poor woman having to beg from door to door for a bite to eat. You have a lovely home, ma'am, but better still, you have a lovely young body, just what I've been looking for. Judy stared into the old woman's bloodshot eyes. Icy fingers clutched at her racing heart. My body? What do you mean? What do you want? I'm an old woman, child. My body is bent with age, aching with a pair of tired bones. I'm going to take your body and give you mine. A fair exchange. You're joking with me. Here's $1. Now please go. No, my dear, I'm not joking. You are exactly what I've been looking for. The gnarled, creased old woman reached out a knotty, wrinkled hand and caught Judy's wrist. She began to utter weird syllables and incoherent jargon. Judy started to feel weak, dizzy. She screamed. Eee! Kamto Orgo Radimo Vishnu Oro Rambu Minishu. Suddenly everything went black. Judy felt herself falling into the empty velvet black void of unconsciousness. When she came to, she was lying on the floor. She stared down at the familiar rug, then her gaze fell upon her hand. It was knotty, wrinkled, the hand of an old woman. Oh, no, oh dear God, no. Judy scrambled to her feet and stumbled to the mirror above the fireplace. She looked, horrified at the image she saw. It was the face of a beady-eyed, toothless, bent old lady. Eee! Judy rushed to the cell phone. Unbearable pain shot like needles through her gnarled and crooked limbs. Donald, this is Judy. Come home. Quickly, something horrible has happened. Meanwhile, a trim young figure moved down the street of this small town, the stolen body of Judy Abelson. Didn't even say hello. Funny, she acted like she never saw us before. 15 minutes later, Donald Abelson burst to the front door of his house. Judy, where are you? Sprawled on the couch in the living room, Donald found a sobbing old woman. What are you doing in here? Where's my wife? Donald. An old woman rushed to Donald and flung her bony arms around his neck. Oh, Donald, I am your wife. What in blazes? Donald stifled the feeling of nausea that swept over him as the old crone kissed his cheeks and wept. For God's sakes, old woman, stop your whimpering and tell me, what did you do with Judy? I am Judy, Donald. Believe me, I am. Judy, no longer possessing her young trim body but that of an aged woman, sobbed out the whole story. And when I regained consciousness, I found myself in her body. Donald, what will I do? What will I do? Donald listened to the incredible story. He stared at the old woman in disbelief. I don't believe you. I can't. Let me prove I am Judy. Donald, ask me anything only Judy would know. Donald turned away. He thought for a moment, and then, all right, if you can answer this, I might believe you. What was the number of the room in the hotel room where we spent our honeymoon? 709. Donald couldn't believe his ears. He asked another question, more personal question. The bent old woman answered them all correctly. Now will you believe me? It's horrible. Horrible. Why? The ringing of the telephone interrupted Donald's exclamation. Don, this is George down at the station. You and your wife have a quarrel, old boy? Hello? Why, no. What makes you ask? She's down here waiting for the 310. Bought a ticket to New York. Now, I don't mean to pry, but... Donald hung up. He spun around facing the wrinkled woman. You say you're Judy? If you are, you'll follow my instructions. Do anything I want. Anything. Donald led the old woman to the closet. He opened the door. Hurry, there's no time to lose. Perhaps it isn't too late. I have a plan, but I've got to lock you in this closet. Will you let me? If it will help, Donald, of course. Donald closed the closet door on the old woman and locked it. He pocketed the key and ran from the house. He cursed the traffic as he sped downtown in his car. She must be Judy. She must be. No one else would have been able to answer those questions. It was 3 o'clock and Donald reached the station. He spotted Julie's familiar figure sitting in the waiting room. He walked up to her. She looked at him blankly, without recognition. She doesn't know me. It is true. It is true. This is Judy's body, but Judy's back home, in the old woman's body. Suddenly, a desperate, mad idea crashed into Donald's mind. He stepped up to Judy's body and snarled. So you're running away, Judy? So you can't face the fact that you have cancer, that you're going to die in 2 months? Huh? Cancer? Die? Go ahead, run away. You think you'll spare me the grief of watching you die, eh? Oh, alright, that's the way you want it. Cancer? Die? What have I done? I gotta get it back. Get back my body back. Campto, Argo, Radimo. Suddenly Judy's body, seated on the bench, stiffened. Then the color drained from her cheeks. She slumped forward. Judy! Judy! What happened? Where am I? Oh, Donald, darling, Donald! I've gotten my body back. She's given it back. Come on, we gotta get to the house. Donald and Judy sped back across town. Then they rushed into the house. Someone was hammering on the closet door. Donald took his gun from the desk. She's in there, Judy, locked in the closet. What are you going to do, Donald? I'm going to kill her, Judy. She's evil. I've got to kill her or she'll do this horrible thing again. No one will miss her. We'll bury her in the cellar. Bam! 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 Donald emptied his gun into the closet door. Then they opened it. The old woman was dead. They carried her body to the cellar and buried her. It's better this way, Judy, dear. Yes, Donald. No, kiddies, my story isn't over. Not yet. The end came about 6 months later. One night, after Judy and Donald had gone to bed, Judy had a terrible nightmare. She heard the old woman's voice uttering those strange words. When she awoke, yes, Judy found herself buried in the cellar. Dirt filled her toothless mouth, pressed against her beady eyes. She pushed up into the cold, fresh air. She's taken my body again. She's done it again. Judy, now in the corpse of the old woman, stumbled up the cellar stairs. Bits of rotting flesh fell away as she moved through the house to Donald's bedroom. Who's there? Good Lord! It's me, Donald, Judy. She's taken my body again. Kill her, Donald. Kill her and set me free. Donald went for his gun. The decayed, foul-smelling corpse of the old woman followed him to Judy's room. Donald flung open the door. The body of his wife, Judy, was dressing frantically. Got to get away before he... Kill her, Donald. Shoot her. Shoot! The gunshot echoed through the dark house. Judy's body slumped to the floor. Then the corpse of the old woman tottered and collapsed. Judy! Judy! Where are you? Suddenly, Judy, now repossessed of her own body, gasped as she passed away. I'm here, Donald. I'm where I belong. Judy, Judy. Well, there's a weird little tale, eh? But there's a lesson to be learned, kiddies. Don't make fun of that strange old woman who comes begging. You might find yourself in her shoes. Oh, by the way, you can have back issues starring me, the old witch, and my host, the Crypt-Keeper, if you want them. Just read the Crypt-Keeper's corner in this issue. This is the Vault Keeper saying, bye now. Ever loved someone who didn't love you? Pretty painful, isn't it? Well, it's not half as painful as being loved to death. For the first scene of this touching tale, let's look in on the apartment of Margaret Singer, where a delightful little episode is reaching a climax. Ow! I'm sorry, Edward. I had to do it. Now, will you please go, and don't ever annoy me again? But Margie, I'm mad about you. Won't you let me take you out just once? Tomorrow night? No, I'm busy. I'm busy every night, as far as you're concerned. Now, will you leave? I have to dress for a heavy day. Alright, Margie, I'll go, but I won't give up. Margaret Singer slams the door on poor Edward Wallace. Poor sap, won't he ever catch on that he doesn't rate with me? How many times do I have to slap his face? While outside, Eddie, dejected, moves slowly down the darkened streets. Why? Why won't she give me a break? She knows I'm crazy about her, but she treats me like dirt. She acts like she can't stand me. Eddie crosses the street and enters the deserted park. He slumps down on a bench. Soon a stranger comes along. He stops, eyes Eddie, then sits down beside him. What's the matter, young fella? You look pretty glum. I am. I'm nuts about a girl, but she won't give me a tumble. The stranger smiles and pulls out a card. Oh, is it that it? Well, go see this guy. He'll fix you up, guaranteed. Huh? What can he do? Stranger rises and disappears into the night. Eddie studies the small white card. It reads Ulrich Stronheim, alchemist. An address follows. An alchemist? Say, I thought those guys went out with the Middle Ages. Oh well, I can't lose anything. I'll go see him. The address on the card leads Edward Wallace to a dark, winding street in the middle of the oldest part of town. The building he is looking for is run down, dirty tenement. He climbs rat-infested steps to Ulrich Stronheim's door. Yes, what can I do for you? I was given your card. The man said you could help me. The wrinkled, wizened old man steps aside and Edward enters a weird room. Bottles and jars line the wall. each filled with brilliantly colored liquids and powders. What seems to be the trouble, young man? I'm in love with a girl, but she doesn't love me. Oh, I see. And you would like her to adore you, to worship you, to love you and only you? Yeah, that's what I'd like. Very simple. Here, take this. It's a love potion. My secret formula. Just a few drops and she's yours, all yours. It must be very expensive if it really works. Oh, it works. I guarantee that. And it's very cheap. Only $1. $1? Is that all? I'll take it. Goodbye. Not goodbye, young man. Au revoir. For now, you'll be back. They all come back. Come back for what? For the antidote. Oh no, not me. If this really makes Margaret fall madly in love with me, you won't see me again. We'll see, we'll see. Edward rushes from the weird room down the garbage-laden stairs and back across town to Margaret's apartment. Oh, Edward, are you back again? I told you. I came to say goodbye, Margaret. I'm going away. Good, thank heavens. Now you'll stop bothering me. I brought this wine, Margie. Will you have just one drink with me to wish me farewell? Anything to get rid of you. Good, I'll pour it out. Eddie pours the wine and secretly empties the contents of the lead potion into Margie's glass. Well, here's to you, Margie. I'll always love you. And here's to you. Good riddance. Margie drains her glass. Edward stares at her expectantly. Well, you can go now. Don't just stand there like a dummy. We've said goodbye. Yes, I guess I'll go. Golly, it didn't work. Eddie reluctantly opens the door. Margie watches him frigidly. Then the cold look in her eyes softens. She smiles. Oh, you big overgrown kid. Come here. I'll kiss you goodbye. Huh? Margie pecks at Eddie's puckered lips. Suddenly she gasps, and she throws her arms around his neck and kisses him. A long, rapturous kiss. A kiss of love. Eddie, what's happening to me? Oh, Margie. Yep, it was just like old Ulrich, the alchemist said. Margie fell, head over heels. Eddie and she were married. She adored him, worshipped him, loved him until Eddie thought he would go mad. Darling Eddie, sweet, handsome, divine Eddie. Oh, how I love you, Eddie. How? Margie, cut it out. I'm trying to read. Go sit over there. Margie, spurned by Eddie, moves to the chair across the room. There she sits, smiling and staring at Eddie. Don't you have anything to do, Margie? Must you sit and stare at me? I love you. I have nothing in life to do except love you. You're my everything. It is late that same night that Eddie knocks on Ulrich's door. Ah, you finally come back. I must say it took you longer than usual. You must be a very patient man. You want the antidote, no doubt. Yes, I can't stand her any longer. She crawls all over me. She drives me crazy. Here you are. A few drops of this and it'll be all over. Swift and sure, it doesn't leave a trace. It kills her? You have a better method? No, only, well, I hadn't intended to kill her. You say it leaves no trace? How much? $1,000. What? But the potion. Yes, the potion is cheap. The antidote is expensive. I lose money on the potion, but I more than make it up on the antidote. And anyone who buys the potion will always buy the antidote, sooner or later. Well, yes or no? Yes, I guess. At breakfast the next morning, Edward spills the antidote into Margie's coffee while her back is turned. Oh dear, your toast isn't ready yet. I'm sorry, dearest. That's all right, Margaret. I left my watch in the bathroom anyway. But thoughtful, ever-loving Margie, knowing that her darling husband likes his coffee hot, switches cups because hers steams more. Come, darling, your coffee's getting cold. You can start. I'll be right there. But Margie, the devoted wife, waits patiently for Edward to return to the table, and Edward did so want to avoid witnessing her, shall we say, finish. Coffee's good this morning, isn't it? Is it, dear? Oh, I'm so happy. Edward. Edward slumps to the floor and is very still. He is quite dead, swift and sure, just like Ulrich said. There's a slight smile on his face. Edward, darling, speak to me. There's a smile on his face because somewhere in the unknown world that is hereafter, as Edward trudges through the mist. Oh well, so I drank the antidote instead. So I'm dead. At least I'm rid of her. Yes, Edward smiles as he moves through the mist, but the smile is short-lived, for Edward, darling, wait for me. That's Margie's voice. Yes, it is Margie's voice. She bursts through the mist, rushes up to Edward, and smothers him with kisses. Oh, darling, when you died, I knew I wouldn't be able to go on without you, so I committed suicide. Now we'll be together for eternity. Oh, no! Yes, she's right, Edward. But don't worry, maybe someday you might bump into Ulrich Straumann again. Personally, I wouldn't bet on it. I don't think he and you are headed for the same place. Oh, and by the way, many of you asked about subscribing to Tales from the Crypt. For your information, reading my column, The Crypt-Keeper's Corner. Ah, you're back. So you like the little tidbits of terror I dish out on my cauldron, eh? Well, come in, come in. Don't just stand there gaping. It's me, the old witch, mistress of the haunt of fear. Come closer to the fire where it's warm. Then, when you shiver from the story I'm about to tell you, I'll know it isn't from the cold. Comfy? Good. Then I'll begin. This is a tale dripping with dread. I call it The Works in Wax. My story begins in the 19th century. In England, on a dark and winding street in old London stands a famous structure, the Hogs Lane Wax Museum. Inside, the owner barks orders at his nervous, scurrying wife. Hurry, Marie, it's time to open up. All our tableaus are all the tableaus dusted? Yes, Henry, I'm finished. You may unlock the doors. The fame of the Hogs Lane waxwork is widespread. Outside the battered doors, a crowd has already gathered. Tourists from all over the world travel to see this famous museum and its notorious chamber of horrors. The doors are opening. Stop pushing! Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Marie and Henry's Malto's Waxworks. The anxious throng pushed its way into the Maltod establishment, filling Henry's outstretched hands with coins and paper money. Inside, wax figures stand expectantly, waiting the prying eyes. Please, ladies and gentlemen, plenty of room inside. Have your admission price ready. Take your time. Yes, Marie and Henry's Maltod's Waxworks is world renowned. You know why? Because the wax figures look so real. They look almost alive. And in the chambers of horrors, well, you can imagine. Ugh, it turns my stomach. It's a famous hatchet murderer, Cyrus Everard, with one of his victims. That's Jack the Ripper. I'd swear he moved. Amazing how alive they look. Ooh, the blood. Look at her face. She actually looks like she's being strangled. That's John Carrot. He strangles 33 women before they caught him. Yes, the Maltod Waxwork is quite a place. Quite a place. Pardon my guard. Can you tell me? Guard, I'd like some information. Guard, I'd say. That's very rude. I'll report. Agnes, that's a wax figure. People are laughing at you. Soon, however, the day passes and closing time arrives. The milling throng is ushered out, and once more the doors are closed. Henri Maltod breathes a sigh of relief. Phew, well, Marie, another day, eh? It's a relief to have silence again, is it not? Yes, Henri, I will drape the tableaus while you count the day's receipts. Henri disappears into the office, and Marie turns to the many wax figures that line the walls. Well, today was not so bad, was it, my friends? At least there was no mischievous children, eh? After a while, Henri comes out of the office and calls to Marie. Best Tuesday we've had this year, Marie. Marie? Marie? Henri calls Marie's name several times before she rushes up to him. Marie, didn't you hear me call you? I'm sorry, Henri. I was busy. Henri stamps down the line of exhibits. Busy? Busy doing what? You have not draped the figures. Suddenly his eyes fall upon the exhibit of Jean Garot, the Strangler. Mon Dieu, what have you done? His head! You turned his head! Yes, Henri, I felt sorry for him. Sorry? Sorry? What are you talking about? He begged me to do it. He said he couldn't stand looking at her eyes. Marie, are you out of your mind? No, Henri. No, Monsieur Garot pleaded with me. Henri twisted the wax head once more, stares down at the strangled girl. Marie, leave the figures alone. No, Henri, don't. Then Henri leads Marie away. You've been working too hard, Marie. You need a rest. I'm not tired, Henri. I am all right. The next day, crowds once more flocked to the Hogs Lane Wax Museum. Say, that's Cyrus Everard, the hatchet murderer. He doesn't look so bad. Sacre Dieu! After the last visitor leaves, Marie, come here! Come here! Yes, Henri. Marie, did you lower Monsieur Everard's arm to his side? Oui, Henri. It was so tired. The hatchet, it's so heavy. I felt sorry for him. Marie, what is happening to you? You are going mad. No, Henri, it is true. Monsieur Everard asked me. No, begged me to lower his arm. I could not refuse. Henri Maltod explodes in a fit of anger. I told you, Marie, leave these statues alone. If I catch you changing any again, so help me, I'll kill you. Henri, you do not believe me. Huh? Henri raises the wax figure's arms to its original position. And I mean it! I'll kill you! And as Henri storms from the Chamber of Horrors, I'm sorry, Monsieur Everard. I am so sorry. So. That night in the quarters above the waxworks, I had made up my mind, Marie. You are going to Paris for vacation. Yes, Henri. Late at night, Henri is wakened by the sound of laughter. Marie's laughter. Marie? She's not in bed. Henri put on a robe and descends to the waxworks below. Marie? Are you down there? Henri's voice echoes through the silent wax museum. He lights the lamp. Marie, you crazy fool, what have you done? Marie sits wide-eyed in the center of the Chamber of Horrors. Now my friends are all happy, Henri. All happy. Henri's gaze moves from tableau to tableau. Ruined! You've ruined the exhibits! Indeed, Marie had altered the Chamber of Horrors. It is, in fact, no longer horrible. They were so unhappy, Henri. We were torturing them. They couldn't stand it any longer. I had to do it. You turned Monsieur's garret head again. Lord Monsieur's Everard's hatchet. Henri's face is flushed. He clenches his fists, moving towards Marie. I told you what I'd do, Marie. I told you what I'd do if you touched them again. Henri's hands close about Marie's white throat. Tighter, tighter, tighter. No, Henri, please. Henri's body grows limp and she slips from Henri's grasp, dead. Henri turns at the sound behind him. No. The wax figure of Cyrus Everard, the hatchet murderer, stirs, then turns towards Henri, its eyes blazing. No, I'm dreaming. You're wax. You can't be alive. Jack the Ripper steps from his tableau, his knife gleaming in the gaslight. Keep away! Keep away! The others, John Garreau, the Strangler, Lucy Boardman with her axe, George Crabtree, the notorious poisoner, Frederick von Heimer, the bludgeoner with his club, all of them move towards the historical cowering Henri Matard. No! Outside in the dark, deserted London street, a blood-curdled scream fills the air, echoing over the chimney pots. The next morning, when the hog-slaying waxwork does not open its doors, the police investigate. The doors are forced. Inside, they find a strange sight. A huge tableau of wax figures stand reverently about the body of Marie Matard as she lies on a wax-flowered bed-decked altar. At the foot of the altar, a huge candle burns, and if you look real hard, you can see beneath the translucent wax of the tremendous candle the remains of Henri Matard. Good Lord, look! Henri Matard! He's the wick of the candle! And that's my story, kiddies. Didn't it just melt your cold hearts? Yes, Henri was all burned up over what Marie did to the Chamber of Horrors, but he soon cooled off. What was left of him, that is. The figures that he and Marie created certainly were lifelike, weren't they? Too lifelike, if you ask me. Marie wasn't crazy after all, eh? It was Henri who was the drip. See you next in the Vault of Horrors. Waxed and waned, the wax and wax hardens. Tales from the Crypt, number 25, sees the tune. Thanks for riding at SL tonight. Happy Halloween, boys and ghouls. And prepare for the next issue, The Haunt of Fear, number 17. But in the meantime, folks.
Ahowd! Grab the story on Discord!